This is Dendrick. I just got back from FanExpo Vancouver 2016, and I just want thoughts while they're fresh in my mind. I went in costume this year. I went as Zartan. Oh, let me get the hood here. It's not a great costume, but I did what I could. So, I think with the hood and the eye makeup, it's kind of, you can kind of figure out who I am. Some people knew. I think about 3 people recognized what character I was, at least the ones I talked to. This is a costume I wanted to do for a while, and I'm pretty happy with it. It was pretty fun to dress up for a change. I'll just show it quickly here. Yeah, it's pretty amateur. It's just motocross armor. So there it is. That's my Zartan. I just want to show that before I take it off and get cleaned up. Pretty happy with the eye makeup. I had to get some help from the wife for that. It actually feels really cool. I wish I could wear this every day. It was interesting taking the public transit to get there, though. I'm pretty far from the event. It's in downtown Vancouver at the convention center, and I'm way out in Surrey, which is a 40-minute train ride, so I had to drive to the train, which was fine, and then take the train down to the convention center. And that was interesting because nobody else was in costume on the train until I finally popped out at the event, and then there was people dressed up, of course, everywhere. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I'll just talk about the costume a bit first. I actually forgot I was going to separate these knee pieces. I thought that this would look like Zartan's hip armor here, or thigh armor, and then this would be his for the calves. I forgot to take it apart though. I bought this stuff a while ago when I got the idea. So I have a motorcycle, so I was looking online at some motorcycle equipment. I don't know what I was shopping for, and I guess that's where I got the idea that this motocross stuff looks pretty much like Zartan's armor. So I think this was on sale or something, and I bought that. And then the leg pieces. So it didn't cost a lot. And then the other bits, these pants I had from a Juggernaut costume. They're like $5 from China, and I wasn't sure what to put underneath, so I just wore this G.I. Joe shirt. This is this hood thing is some kind of like fake silk robe. I think it's like a men's lingerie. It's weird, but that's the only thing I could find that would be a brown hood. It's hard to find things in brown and burgundy. Which are the colors I needed for this costume and the Juggernaut costume. So anyway, that's about all it is. It's nothing really fantastic, but I think it worked well enough. It's like a budget Zartan. And as I said, I got recognized. Somebody pretty soon after I got to the event said hello and asked for a photo, so that was kind of cool. And a couple other people did later on and talked to us about G.I. Joe with some people. So that was fun. Yeah, and I also saw Kevin Smith's panel there, and the Arrow panel. A lot of guests didn't show up, actually, so I was hoping to see Carrie Fisher maybe, but she canceled due to illness. I suspect due to pillness. She has some issues. We don't know, but that's my guess. The Arrow panel was... who was it? It was John something, the guy who plays Diggle, and Neil McDonough, which is cool.
You changed, man. You changed. And keep making some noise. Of course, you know him as John Diggle from original Team Arrow. Give it up for Mr. David. Yep. All right. That happened. Just like that.
That's a fan of yours, Neil. I've been a fan of yours my whole life, David. David, tell us. It's goofy. And you guys are, giving.
You guys are getting it, right? So, you guys are excited for the
Like you guys.
18th show crossover.
Greg Berlanti. All by Greg Berlanti. So it's
And we just finished that crossover. It's gonna be huge, man. Diggle's reaction to a woman in a skirt flying across the horizon is just nothing.
Well, he's always been this great gee whiz guy where like he sees this crazy stuff that's happening in his world. And, like, does he ever get used to the fact that, yeah, okay, now there's a Supergirl, and okay, now like there's a big shark man, you know?
No, he doesn't. And now you have the Dominators coming, and that's those are the big baddies for
Thursday nights on the CW. Diggle and Damien. Who'd watch that?
Every time you do a new magic trick, Diggle goes.
I do love watching Damien interact because, of course, you know, your character appeared on Legends of Tomorrow this week. So, great episode. Except these heroes, they're kind of terrible at time travel because Katie Lotz's character basically lays out the entire future. Have you ever thought that like Damien Dark could easily be stopped if people stopped telling him what happened in the entire timeline?
Yes. But they pay me. No, but Katie is, I wish you were here today. Katie's phenomenal. I mean, the whole cast of Legends is, again, it started with Arrow, and we're trying to be like Arrow now. You know, all these shows are, but you know, what we're doing on Legends is, it's fun because, you know, they kill me off in Arrow, and there they go back in time. Whoop, there's Damien Dark. And, you know, pulling me down to the 80s, and, you know, they see me, I'm not sure what episode we're on right now, but, you know, going back to the 20s, and now the 60s in the next one, and going to 2025, or so, whatever it is, without giving too many story points away. It's fun to travel all over the place, and I'm so looking forward to the point where Damien has to meet Damien in 2016, and how are they going to write that, and what they're going to do, and how I'm going to cross that bridge. I'm really looking forward to that.
It was also supposed to have Katie Lotz, though, the White Canary, and it was supposed to also have John Barrowman, I think. But anyway, 2 of the 4 guests didn't show. But that's okay. I mean, it was a free panel. The Kevin Smith one I paid for, and he delivered. He gave a 3-hour Q&A, and that was at 8 o'clock, though. I didn't actually stay for the whole thing. I left after 2 hours, and I just got home now from that, because it was a long day. So originally I planned to go and be there for 1:30 to see Meg Turney's panel, because Meg Turney. But I got up kind of slow and lazy today, and took a while to get the costume ready, and then I thought, you know, it's that I realized that 8 o'clock was when the panel was. I thought he was going to talk for an hour. I thought, well, then I'm not going to be home till like 10 o'clock, so maybe, you know, being there from noon to 10, that's kind of a long day. So I ended up getting there more around 3 o'clock, and that was fine. So that gave us time to line up for the Arrow panel after doing a bit of shopping and looking around. I actually missed the celebrities, though. I mean, they had people signing autographs and whatnot. It's kind of a draw that they have celebrities there, but I don't really go for that. I remember I've only been to FanExpo once before, and I remember that my feeling was the draw was seeing that kind of stuff, the celebrities and whatnot, but the actual fun experiences that I had there were talking with other fans and just being among, you know, like my people, and you know, a bit of shopping too. And that was kind of how it was this year as well. I didn't go in costume the other time. This was, I think, not last year, because I completely missed it last year. It was earlier than I thought. The year before, I think. So that must have been 2014, maybe 2013. And you know, all the costumes there made me want to have a costume myself, and especially I think I had this stuff then, actually, and I was gonna go as Zartan, and I remember thinking that I don't know, I just chickened out. And when I was there walking around and I saw people in costume, I thought, oh, I wish I'd done this. And especially when I saw this group of people dressed as the Dreadnoks. You might have seen these guys online. I've seen pictures of them since then, but I just remember seeing over near the autograph alley there were these this group as the Dreadnoks. They had a Zorana, a Roe Pig, you know, like the white hair and no shirt and stuff, and a big cinder block on the stick. I think Thrasher. I can't remember exactly who was among the group, and I thought, man, if I had worn this costume, I could have just walked up and be like, hey, there you slackers are, where I've been looking for you, you know, and damn, I wish I'd worn the costume. So instead I just, you know, went up and was like, oh, can I have a picture, and took their photo. So this time I did it. Sadly, I didn't see them there. I didn't run into them. I was really hoping I would, but I did see, I think I saw, did I see no, I didn't see a Storm Shadow. I saw Baroness, and I think she was with a Flint. I saw a guy wearing a beret next to her, but they walked by pretty fast. They didn't see me. And I saw, no, somebody told me, the guy who took my picture said that he saw a Cobra Commander somewhere, but I didn't see him. The thing was, you know, it was a bit bittersweet. It was fun to wear this costume and you know, dress up as a character that I love. But on the other hand, I felt a little bit out of place. I felt like it was too old. As I say, you know, 2 or 3 people did stop and say hi or take a photo, but I didn't see, you know, G.I. Joe doesn't have much of a presence anymore anywhere. And with all the, there was a lot of younger fans there, and a lot of the costumes were Adventure Time. A lot of Adventure Time costumes. You know, a couple of Deadpools. Everything was much more modern, and a lot of anime costumes, I think, that I didn't really recognize because I'm not much into anime. And I felt like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just because G.I. Joe hasn't been kept alive the way Star Wars has, and Transformers. But yeah, maybe feel a little bit old. People are probably wondering who I was, and I was going to take a bow. That was part of the reason I didn't go the first time, because I wasn't sure about weapons, and I could have just read the policy online, which I did this time. So you can take a bow, but it has to be de-strung. And I have a compound bow because I've been into archery since I was little, like 13. I've been shooting this compound bow. It's the same one I've always had. And I mean, it's a bugger to restring those things. I mean, I'd probably have to take it to a shop. But, well, I mean, I don't know. I haven't tried. Maybe I'm strong enough now to restring it. But actually, no, I don't. Getting around it'd be a nightmare. It'd be a nightmare. I would have to take it into a shop too. So I wasn't going to de-string my bow for the show. The first time, I was also thinking, oh, Stephen Amell is there. Maybe I'll get him to sign my bow. But that wouldn't have worked out anyway because he had a long lineup. And it was like, I think the autograph started at $40, but he was probably like 60 or something. I mean, it was. I don't want to spend that kind of money just to get somebody to write their name on something. I'm just not an autograph guy. So I didn't take it that time. I didn't take it this time because of the string problem. And I also was thinking, you know, with eye paint and a hood and a bow, people probably are going to think I'm Green Arrow or even Robin Hood or something before they think of Zartan. So I didn't miss having the bow with me. It was, you know, less to carry around. It made it so I could take a backpack with my stuff, which I needed to because I was actually on call for work today, so I had to take my my tablet with me. So anyway, yeah, it was a good time. I met up with some friends there. I wish I could have gone with them because it would have made the travel a bit, you know, safety in numbers. By the way, this paint looked better. It's kind of faded as I've been trying not to touch my face all day, but it's kind of, you know, this is after a few hours, this is probably 8 hours or so with this on, so, yeah. But yeah, my friends had a good time. I did a bit of shopping. I picked up some Transformers. I picked up Legends Scourge, the Takara version of Scourge, and what else? I bought a Super Mario World cartridge, another little loose Sentinel Prime figure, a little small one. There weren't a ton of good deals there. Most of the stuff was reasonably priced. I found that, I mean, I usually buy my stuff online because I have to, or prices were comparable there. Oh, I almost bought a X-Men I almost bought the Marvel Select Magneto or Storm or Wolverine. I was on the fence about. I don't know what scale I'm collecting with Marvel, but I was the lady at the shop there was not talking me into it, but trying to like, are you gonna buy something because we're closing? This is like 15 minutes before they shut the thing down. And anyways, I found out she was Arclight. She was she said she was an extra in the X-Men movies, and she played Arclight, which was pretty cool. So she was doing this to somebody, and then he was like trying to high five her. He's like, "No, I'm doing the power of the Arclight thing." So, that was cool that she was humble to call herself an extra. But I mean, I think it was a speaking role. And anyway, the cool thing was I almost bought an X-Men toy from Arclight. So here's a picture of her, which I took without consent because I felt bad about not buying it. In the end, I didn't buy it because, like I said, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. Yeah, first of all, she's like, "Hey, no tax," but then she's like, "Hey, I was in the movie." So I was tempted. I was like, "Man, this would be cool to buy something from somebody who's in the movie." I thought that kind of added to the value for me. As I say, I talked myself out of it. I was on a budget, so I got my Scourge instead. And what else did I buy? Yeah, the cartridge. I didn't really buy much. A couple of Lego figurines for the kids. So maybe I'll review the Scourge. I don't know. So what else? Anyways, yeah. So I missed McTurney. I missed the celebrities. I kind of walked by. I was trying to take in everything. I thought I'd have time to go back and do another loop around, but I didn't. It turned out because of all the waiting in line and whatnot. And I didn't know that they closed at 7. I think it was 7 or 7:30, and I got kicked out of the shopping area. So so I missed Meg Turney. I walked by. I saw Jewel State there, and I saw Tom Felton doing autographs. I was hoping to see Christopher Lloyd, but he wasn't at his station at the time. Who else was there? Damn, I forget. As I say, I don't do autographs. I mean, I don't buy autographs, but I was gonna go buy and just it's cool to see the people in real life, and I didn't get a chance to do that really. And then I saw Meg Turney had a desk there, but she wasn't there. Apparently, she was dressed as the BioShock character. What's her name? Elizabeth from BioShock, which I don't get. Not that I don't get it, but I mean, that would not be my favorite costume because that character was very young, and I mean, I don't know, dressing up like a kid is kind of weird. But I didn't see her at all. I didn't see any other celebrities except for the ones at the panels. Cosplaying, there's lots of people in costume, lots of Star Wars costumes. I saw a whole procession of Imperial stormtroopers and a couple of scouts, 2 Darth Vaders, an Emperor Palpatine, which is great. And some people in the Bounty Hunter. Their own people often do like the Boba Fett thing with their own paint scheme. A couple of those. It was cool when I saw a stormtrooper here and there before, but then as I was waiting in line for the Arrow panel, a bunch of them just walked by together, and one of the stormtroopers even had like a portable stereo that was playing the Imperial March, like dun, dun, dun. So that was kind of cool. The Darth Vader even had like a light up box on his chest, and it was making the voice sound, or the breathing sound for him, which is pretty cool. It's good to see an Emperor. I don't often see somebody dressed as the Emperor, and if you've watched my statue review, I love the Emperor. And he had the cane and the face makeup and everything. It was really great, and he was like, hobbling along in character, very cool. One of the guys I talked to about, one of the guys who recognized me in costume, he was dressed as Luke from Return of the Jedi, so that was cool. What else I see there? There's some custom lightsabers. There's some people in their own costumes, like a weird Sith outfit I didn't recognize. With these light up goggles, that was pretty cool. Oh, I saw Psylocke with LED goggles, and there's like a movie Logan, with like the wife beater Logan. Looked very much the part. A couple people dressed as the alien xenomorph, which is kind of cool. Deadpool. I think it was like a store-bought Deadpool I saw. There's Wonder Woman. And of course, there was some ladies on display there, and I mean, I respect these women who cosplay in these skimpy costumes because I think it takes a lot of confidence to do that, and it must be fun to do that. I mean, I don't know. I wonder if I were a girl, if I could pull that off. I don't know if I have the confidence to do it. So props to them for doing it. Not as many as you might expect, though, based on what I've seen in Comic-Con videos and stuff. But this being Canada in November might have factor into that. You want to. It's not the warmest time of the year here, so that was cool. What else did I see there? I don't know what else to talk about. Well, so the last thing I saw was Kevin Smith. I bought the extra ticket to see him. So the thing with Kevin Smith, I finally figured out. I wasn't sure how I felt about this guy for a while, and I finally figured out I don't like Kevin Smith's movies. I'll be honest, they're not for me. But I like Kevin Smith, and he's just really entertaining to listen to. And I watched his other talks on YouTube from comic conventions and schools that he's spoken at. I find him very interesting to listen to, and that kind of came up in what he was talking about. He admitted that he doesn't think of himself as a great filmmaker. But he's a good storyteller, and I think he understands himself very well to say something like that. I mean, he likes to tell stories. He's made a career out of it that he didn't really plan for, but so he does films when he has an idea for a film. But he really likes this podcast that he does now because he was saying he found other ways to tell stories, which is pretty cool. So I got a real kick out of that. He's very self-deprecating, which goes well in that's a Canadian favorite type of humor. He spends a lot of time here now, apparently, from filming a lot of stuff. I didn't realize he directed an episode of Flash and Supergirl, both of which are filmed here in Vancouver, as is Arrow. I'm always seeing places that I recognize in the background. Whenever there's outdoors in Arrow or the Flash, I'm like, oh, I drive by that on the way to work, or I know where they are. It's a bit distracting, actually. I'm not sure I like it. Because it seems like Gotham is the only TV show that's not filmed in Vancouver, and maybe season 1 of Supergirl. Season 2 definitely is. But anyway, he was talking a lot about that, he started off saying, if you don't know me, these Q&A sessions are a little bit of Q and a metric shit ton of A. So he gave very long answers. The last one that I stayed for, actually, he was, he would tell a long story, and then he'd say, oh, so did I answer your question? And then I think the last one or second last one, he said, I didn't actually ask a question. So then he asked his question, and then he gave a long answer. But everything is an entertaining story, and he also gives great life advice. I mean, people ask like, how can I break into show business, or I'm studying. I think, man, these are kind of lame questions. They're very self-serving if you're asking that kind of stuff. I don't personally like that kind of question. Somebody even gave him his resume on a USB and things like that. But he was very gracious about it. He accepted all that, and he gives good life advice too. And it's not just generic, cat poster stuff. He said, I think he used that term, but he's very, very smart, very articulate guy. I enjoy listening to him. So that was worth the price of the ticket, I thought. I didn't stay for the full 3 hours. It was getting late. So I stayed for 2. I decided, I'll at least stay for half. I stayed for 2 or 3 hours, and then I headed home, and here I am. So I think that's about it. That's FanExpo Vancouver 2016. I had a good time. I think one day is enough. It's on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I'm happy with the one day. I go in there with a little bit of a spending budget, and it's nice to see a couple of celebrities and just to see the fans and walk around with other people and like, hey, nice costume, and took a few photos. So here's a few photos that I took while I was there. Thanks for listening to me ramble on about FanExpo. If you weren't there or you're interested in it, I hope that was interesting. And yeah, if you get the chance, go. There's one in Toronto, but I mean, there's these type of pop culture conventions all over the place. So if you haven't been, go. Wear a costume, just have a good time. I do recommend it. And as always, thanks for watching.